Hey, folks. Dave back again here. Quick chat tonight. Don't want to do anything too long here tonight, but something jumped out at me, and it's something that Ron always talks about. And he talks about storylines. And we just, how we weave our tales when we roll dice or when we play our games or click our mouse or whatever it is. Um, and boy, it's really hitting home tonight. Okay. I started playing Franchise Hockey Manager 9. I picked up the bundle. I picked up the OOTP 24 and the Franchise Hockey Manager 9 bundle. It was like $27. It was unbelievable. PJet, you're going to want to hear this story. And PJet's the first to arrive, so he's going to want to hear this story, okay? And David stops by too. So, okay. I have been playing Franchise Hockey Manager 9, and I'm addicted to it. I was up till 1:30 the other night playing. Now, granted, I had a couple of days off from work, so I wasn't missing any work, but I can't stop playing with it. And what I was doing is I was going back into the 70s and 80s, and I would start a season and start everybody with the as an initial draft, it's called. So basically a fantasy draft. So all teams disperse the players, and I get in line and I pick my teams. Okay, so that's kind of how it was going. Um, Tonight, what I decided to do, and we'll just pop some people on here. P Jet's here, David is here, Steeler fans here. Tonight, what I did, something different. And the great thing about this Franchise Hockey Manager 9, it is so smooth. Either that or it's a new computer. It's probably both, but the new computer is running it so smooth. So I said, I'm going to go back into, and I wanted to go to 1970 and not add Vancouver Buffalo, right? And then continue on with those 12 teams through the 70s and not add any teams, not add the WHA. And I think you can do all that with Franchise Hockey Managers. It's a true sandbox. But I found out that you can't start in the year that you want. You got to go back 1 year. So I had to go back to 69, 70 and then play to 70, 71. And then I could tell it, don't add teams, no expansions, nobody folds. So I could probably, in theory, continue with those 12 teams for a long time. Okay. And Pesky Pole's here for the storyline. I got a great storyline for you. Roger stops by, Ron McGrath, and also Michael Canestria. So here's the story. So I took Franchise Hockey Manager and I went back to 1969. And I said, you know something? I'm going to do two projects here. I'm going to do one where I do the fantasy draft and I'll draft my teams like I've been doing, seeing on the videos here. The other one is I'm going to take the Bruins in 69, 70. I'm going to play them. Let's see if we can get them to win the cup or whatever it is. And then I will continue on with the project of not adding Buffalo or Vancouver in 70, 71, keeping 12 teams. So that means, all the guys that played on the Sabres, the Roger Crochers and all those guys there, and Rene Robert and Gilbert Perreault, all those guys will be available for any team to pick up. And then in 72, 73, I will not add the Flames or the Islanders, and I'm continuing with my 12 teams. So basically what I'm doing is I'm keeping the league small, and I'm adding all these all-stars. And where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? I added one other twist to my project. Not only did I say no expansion teams or anything like that, and no teams will fold, so the Seals will not fold if I checked off the right box. So the Seals will play forever. PJ's going to be happy about that. I unchecked the Iron Curtain box. And what that means is all the Russians are available to be drafted. Now, Tretiak's only 17, so I haven't got him yet. And I say yet because it's my game and I'm in commissioner mode. And Tretiak will come to the Bruins. I'm playing the Bruins. So I'm playing this season and having some fun. And I decided to look in free agency. And of course, the Bruins were in first place because they were, one of the better teams that year. And Rene Robert was he 19 or 20 years old as a free agent. Scooped him up. Signed him to the team. Put him on the team, and I've been giving him some shifts sparingly on right wing, and just trying to get his feet wet on the team. Okay. Now again, I don't know all about the tactics and the lines and this and that, but I'm starting to get a little bit better on. You click on a player and you click on their roles, and it gives you a number, a value, and obviously the higher the value, the better they are at that role. So I'm trying to set up grinders and playmakers with a sniper or a dangler. So I have somebody getting the goals and somebody feeding them the goals. So I've been learning that a little bit. But anyway, so I signed Rene Robert, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I'm looking around at one of the teams, and one of the teams had Harlamov and who was the other one? It was Valerie Harlamov or Karlamov. And then there was the other one there. There was two solid Russian skaters there. So I ended up trading a couple of decent prospects that were going to be 3 or 4 stars for the Bruins for Harlamov on the left wing. So I don't have him with Esposito yet, but I grabbed I think it was Valerie Harlamov. And I have him on my left wing. Now, what stinks is I get Cashman, Busick, Marcotte, and Carlton. So I got 4 left wingers already. So where does Harlamov go? I don't know, right? Oh, PJ, this gets better. Don't go anywhere. This gets better, okay? And Pesky Pole says, franchise hockey manager has so many ways to play, just like OOTP scratches an itch. Not my choice for replays, but my choice for what ifs. Yes, this is the greatest what if ever. I don't know. Greatest what if ever for me. So what happens? So I grab Harlamov on the team, put him on the team, and I get Rene Robert on the team, and I'm having some fun, and I had to drop a couple of guys and trade a couple of guys to make room, and I'm alternating the bottom guys. You know what I mean? So Robert plays a few games, then I have Don Marcotte play a few games. So I'm trying to keep everybody happy in that aspect. I get to the playoffs, and as it's been going for me with franchise hockey manager, I end up in first or second place with my teams, and then I lose in the playoffs like the Bruins did this year. Or they did in 1970. Well, I got by the first round, right? And then I went to play Montreal in the second round. And the winner, because it's only 3 rounds. So the winner goes to the Stanley Cup. So I played Montreal. We went 7 games. And I'm just simming the games. I'm really not, watching them. And I simmed and I won game 7. Somehow I got by Montreal, so I'm in the finals. Who am I in the finals against in 1969-70? Would anybody like to venture a guess? You would be correct. The California Seals. The California Seals are in the finals against the Boston Bruins. This is the best storyline ever. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Dave, the California Seals were not a good team in 1969-70. There's no way they could get to the finals. And you would be correct, sir. You would be correct. What you don't know is the Seals have 4 Russians on their team. They signed them without even me knowing, because I checked the box that said Russians could play in the NHL. So their leading scorer on the Seals is Petrov. He's like 22, 23 years old, lighting it up on the Seals. And they have a couple other guys that I didn't really recognize names from this. I only know the Summit Series guys. But the Seals, with, I think it's Victor Petrov, are leading. He led the team in scoring and got them to the finals. And they got by Pittsburgh and St. Louis, I think it was. So, sitting here waiting for me at some point, I don't know if it'll be tonight or not, but probably tomorrow, I might even watch it on the chalkboard. I might even watch it play out. I'm not sure yet. But we have Boston and the California Seals in the 1969-70 Stanley Cup Finals in Franchise Hockey Manager 9. Now, I have, like I say, I added a Russian, and then I added Rene Robert, but he's 19, so he's only playing a little bit, but he's producing for me. I got to say, he's producing. And the Seals, they have their lineup, and then they have Petrov. So, and exactly, these are my 2 words right here. So cool. Yep, so cool. And, of course, PJ has to correct me here. Technically, the Oakland Seals. Well, the Seals are in the finals, okay? And Bill Torres run the club. He made those Russian deals, okay? Thomas coming by. Thanks for coming by, Thomas. But how unbelievable is that? The storylines here. Bringing in, now this is before the Summit Series, so before that 72 clash, where they hated each other. So there's no hate right now between the two. So the Russians are allowed to play in the NHL in my world, and I didn't even know where to grab them, to tell you the truth. So they might have been in free agency, and I just didn't see them because I just had the Bruins, and I'm like, wait a sec, why is this team doing so well? And I look, and they got all these Russians on the team. Now, not every team does, but so the computer grabbed them all up smartly. I missed the boat on that, so I did a trade for one of them, Harlamov, and I forget who was the other one. PJ, you might remember that. I have the candidate. I have it right here actually. If I can dig it out, it was Mikhailov. Mikhailov was the other one. Now I don't know where Vikolov, Maltsov, or Shadrin or Zimin went, or any of the defensemen. You know, like Vasilev, Luchenko, or Sagankov. They're all on here somewhere. But how cool was that? So yeah, what did I say? Harlamov and Mikhailov. So one team had them both, and I forget which team it was. It might have been the North Stars or something like that. But yeah, so Petrov is leading the Seals in scoring, and I didn't see who else they grabbed, but I just quickly looked at the team. How the Seals in the finals? But they were. They beat. I think they beat St. Louis and they beat Pittsburgh, and they're in the finals. So it's the Bruins and the Seals in franchise hockey manager finals. And it's going to be tough to go to bed tonight because I'm going to want to watch this play out. I might actually put the chalkboard on and watch this and see it play out. It might be kind of fun to watch. And again, who wins? I don't care. This is so much fun. But originally, in franchise hockey manager, as I said, you have to start a year early. So I almost just simmed 69-70 just to get the 70-71. But I said, no, I'm here. I'm here. You know, I'm all dressed up. I'm going to play it. So I started to play the 69-70 season, really get into it too. And I really like how you can set up everything. It's such a sandbox. I went into my goalies and I was saying which games Cheevers was going to play, which games Johnson was going to play. I tried to go with a hot goalie when I could. I was rotating my defensemen. And I even figured out how to turn the injuries way down. Holy cow. And I know it's not like realistic, but again, this is not realistic what I'm doing. But I was stopping every 2 games. I would sim a week or a month. It'd go stop injury, and I go in and reset this stop injury. Okay, reset all the injuries. Well, I set the injuries to very low, not none, but very low, and I'm getting some, but not nearly what I got. And it's much more fun for me. It's more fun for me. So yeah, so storylines. When you write your own storylines, it's so fun. And in fact, the other night, I was playing OOTP. Okay, we'll stay on OOTP baseball game, and I was playing the 74 A's. I'm playing the 74 A's, and I'm just letting the computer handle most of it. And I'm just hitting the pitch button and the bat button. But we were playing Texas, went up 3-0. We get to the bottom of 7th, and we collapsed. Vita Blue collapsed. He gave up back-to-back doubles, and then a couple of hits, and then the computer brought in Raleigh Fingers, and he got lit up, and they ended up scoring 3 runs to tie it in the bottom of the 7th. And I'm like, wow, way to blow it, A's. Nice job, right? Well, top of the 9th comes in a 3-3 game, and we load the bases with absolutely nobody out. And who steps up to the plate? Reggie Jackson. What does Reggie Jackson do? He hits a nubber right in front of the plate and beats it out. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. He swings. It's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh no. It's like, oh, just at least get the run home because we get the bases loaded. And the catcher got it, throw it, and Reggie Jackson beat the throw out. So run scores, bases loaded, no out on the play. So fun. We ended up scoring 7 runs in the top of that inning and went on for the 10-3 win. But again, storyline. Another storyline that I had playing a baseball game. 3-0 lead, cruising. Got the 74 A's. Feeling pretty good with Vita Blue. Okay, he's getting tired. Back-to-back doubles. Brought in Raleigh Fingers. He's got the mustache. Thinking Raleigh Fingers going to come in and mow him down. Doesn't. They tied the game up. And then the A's bats came to play in the top of the 9th, and they won it 10-3. So, storylines. Generating storylines is what we do, and we love to share this stuff. And it's just amazing what these games do. It's just amazing how these games can just do this. And like I said, I'll be in bed tonight and I'll be thinking about it. I'll be thinking about how I brought in the Russian guy and how the Seals got the Russian guys and led them to the Stanley Cup Finals and what's going to happen next year. Who are the free agents coming in next year? Who's going to grab who in free agency, right? Who's going to grab who? Who's going to get Tretiak? Who do I got to wrestle Tretiak away from? And who do I got to trade, Cheevers or Johnston? I don't know. What's going to happen in a couple of years in 72 when it was supposed to be the Flames and the Islanders? And so now if I did everything correct, when I get to 72, there's no Canucks, there's no Sabres, there's no Flames, and there's no Islanders. So I got 4 teams worth of players. I mean, where's Tom Lysiak going to go? Dan Bouchard, Phil Muir, all those guys that I remember that played on the Flames, the Islanders. How many Islanders? Where are they going to go? Where's Bossy going to go? And Nystrom and all those guys. It's going to be an interesting storyline. So as fun as the what was I going to say, the fantasy draft fictional stuff is going, when you see Tony Esposito on the Maple Leafs and Phil Esposito on the Flyers, that's kind of fun in its own thing. Thing is, it's kind of overload because they get everybody scattered everywhere. And so a couple of people land on their regular teams, but you have guys, is it Bobby Hull playing on the was it the Penguins or the Red Wings or something, or the Blues? It was kind of weird. He wasn't on the Blackhawks, and it's just those are all full of storylines, but there's a lot of storylines. But what I did tonight, dropping the Russians in, making a couple of moves, mortgaging my future, so to speak. I'm going to keep Bobby Orr healthy. Let's see how long Bobby Orr can go. So I won't have to trade Esposito. I will miss Park and Rattel. Again, who knows? Maybe I'll trade for Park. I don't know. Maybe I'll trade Bobby Orr. You never know. But all that is there. All that is there to create a storyline. And poor Jacket. He was hang on a second. I'm going to put Brian's thing up here. He has all the Red games on mute now. They're demolishing the Nationals. Go Red. Yeah. I like playing the Reds, and I like playing the early 70s A's. I do like that. So anyway, me and Jacket talked a little bit tonight. He's playing it too. Jacket picked up Franchise Hockey Manager 9. It's $10 right now. Get it. It's on Steam. $10. You can't beat it. It's a fun thing. So we had we would video chat, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go play my game. So I'm going to go back to my game. So I stopped playing my game, and immediately I started texting him. I'm like, I just grabbed Rene Robert off for free agency, all legal. Like that was legal. And then I just traded for, who is it? Harlamoff? Is that who I traded for? Yeah, Harlamoff. And I should have taken them both. Maybe I will next year. I'll work a deal and I'll trade somebody good and get Mikhailov to have the Russians. I did that in Action PC, if you remember. 1974, I grabbed Tretiak, Harlamoff, and Mikhailov. And didn't go too well. We didn't have a good season. But then again, that's the year that a lot of Bruins were in the WHA too. So without the WHA in a way, we can have a what if. So we'll have a big what if. No WHA pilfering, no Bobby Orr injuries, and Russians in the NHL. And it's so far the storylines are awesome. It really is. And a lot of times I find myself, I'll play a week and I'll sit back and I'll read the news, because the Franchise Hockey Manager, you get news, and I'll read about, the player of the week, the player of the month. And, these guys made a trade. Somebody grabbed Ted Green. I didn't realize that, I thought Ted Green was on the Bruins in 69-70. But I guess I think he was hurt for a while. But he must have been a free agent or something, because he got grabbed up by the Maple Leafs. So I don't have Teddy Green. I like Teddy Green, so I might have to go steal him back somehow. But it's just so fun. This sandbox here. It's probably the best $10 I spent on gaming, at least in a long time. And I can't stop playing it. And I have all these new products I start. And the great thing is, you set it up and you zip it through a week or a month, and you see what happens. You check in, you make a couple of moves, maybe you move some guys around, maybe make a trade. It's just one big, huge sandbox. And when I do the draft, when I set it up and I say, all right, we're going to do, the fictional fantasy draft, initial draft, I sit back, I take my time. It's so fun. I've done a few of those here. And it's like, okay, it's my turn. Who am I going to get? All right. What do I need? A center? Do I need a left wing? And the first like 8 or 10 rounds are great because you're getting awesome guys. And then after you get your first couple of lines set and you're digging into line 3, you're really kind of picking some mediocre guys at that point. But the first few rounds are really, really fun as Charles stops by here. So, yeah, so I just wanted to talk about storylines for a few minutes. I'm not going to be on much longer, but let me know about your storyline because my storyline is it's 1969-70. I decided to, instead of just zip through the season, I decided to play it out, and it only took me half hour to an hour, and I've been kind of just playing around the lines and moving people around and changing the tactics around and putting in different goalies. It's just been fun. Just been fun managing the team like that. And then I picked up a couple of players, including one of the Russians that I traded for. And now it's the Bruins. Oh, I needed 7 games to get by Montreal, by the way. And they never put Dryden in. They kept Vachon in the entire time. Although Dryden was next year, by the way. Okay, so Dryden was next year. So let's see. Maybe we can put Dryden on a different team besides Montreal. That would be interesting. I don't know if I can force trades between other teams. I might be able to. I think you can. I don't know. As Marco stops by. But yeah. And Charles says, looking forward to sharing the story of this quarterfinals with us. I got game 6, Chicago, Pittsburgh set up right now. Okay. Now, Charles, what game is that? And am I assuming hockey? And what game is that, Charles? But yeah, storylines. And I know that, like I say, you go on, you watch some people's videos, or you watch some of the posts of the guy, and there's some really good storylines out there about things that happen. And so I'll keep you guys posted about what happens with the Seals and the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals 1969-70. And again, it's a big what if, and it's a big it's just fun. Oh, no way, really? 71-72 APA hockey, and you got quarterfinals. Okay, so it's quarterfinals, Chicago, Pittsburgh. Okay. Let me know what happens in that because when I played the finals, 71-72, I played Boston, New York in APA and in Hockey Bones, and the Rangers won 8 games and the Bruins won 1. I think they got swept in one, and there was a 5-game series in the other one. The Rangers just destroyed the Bruins. He doesn't want to spoil. Okay, don't spoil it just yet. Don't spoil it just yet. And JT 2.0 stopping by here. And so, yeah, I was all excited. So I figured I'd jump on and share that with you guys tonight instead of waiting for the show. And we'll talk about it on the show as well. But storylines. And that's the other thing, is, Steve Tower talks a lot of times about playing his fictional baseball and how he gets the storylines from that because it's all people that don't exist. They're all fictional people. And he says, he enjoys, Rusty Rude or whoever it is that no one's ever heard of, and he's their best batter or pitcher or whatever it is, and that makes it fun. There's storylines to be had in all those things there, and not that storylines can't be had in a standard replay because we all have things in our standard replay, but I kind of think when you do the what ifs, purposely do the what ifs. Okay, when you say, okay, I'm going to put this guy in this team. Or, we're going to do something a little bit different than in real life. But if you just kind of play the as played stuff, you get storylines, but you almost kind of know how they played out. Just what's the variation? But when you play the what ifs, it's really kind of crazy. Like Al, Red Sox fan, when he does his, Joe Namath, plays the entire season for the Rams thing. That was fun. He does a lot of that when, somebody doesn't retire or doesn't get hurt. And you just see what would happen. Those are some really fantastic storylines because those are storylines that never happened and never could happen. So the Seals getting to the Stanley Cup Finals could never happen, but they did in my thing here. So anyway, 3 to 4 more games of the quarterfinals are done. Nice. Yeah, Apple hockey is fun. I enjoy that. I played that the other night and had a blast with it. I did. I got to find some more products to do. JT 2.0 says storylines are the reason I play. Every sports replay, what if or fictional. Yep. And Al is the what if king. I will agree with that. He is the what if king. He is. So anyway, so yeah, so let me know your storylines. Your storylines. Oh, Brian stops by here too. And Brian says he has a fantasy baseball league going for over 10 real years. Oh, that's kind of cool. There's some people that are in leagues like that, and they go a long time. They just have a good time, and they keep all the owners in it and the whole bit. Good for that, yeah, because that's hard. It's hard to keep everybody interested, especially over 10 years. 10 years is a long time, because I've been running my hockey league for 25 years almost, and you see the ebbs and flows. A guy will join at 19 or 20 years old, and in 10 years he's 30. So he's probably married, got a kid, working a couple of jobs, probably not drinking and partying anymore because he's changing diapers. And you see that. And sometimes they stop playing hockey for a while, and sometimes they come back. But it's fun seeing that. 10 years is a long time. I mean, if you're 19, then you're 29. If you're 29, you're 39. If you're 39, you're 49. You're a different person 10 years ago than you are now, and you'll be a different person in 10 years from now. Yeah. Oh, it's Fantasy OTP. Oh, okay. Fantasy OTP. Yeah. I hit 25 years with the ice hockey league. And next spring, if we make it, it'll be 25 years with the roller hockey. And it's taken its toll on me. It has. It's taken its toll. 10 years of my life older than my kids. Yeah. Yep. Like I say, you think back and just, we're all loose and free at a certain age. And then all of a sudden, I didn't have kids, but, a lot of people do. And it's very different. It's very different. You just grow up, you grow older, and hopefully you grow smarter. Hopefully. But anyway, so that is the story, and I'll keep you guys updated. Franchise Hockey Manager 9 is an absolute blast. I should be going to bed now. I was out in the heat today for a couple of hours working in the yard, and I think I had heat exhaustion because I come in and I was sick. I was really sick. And I ended up laying down, and it still didn't help until I drank a ton of water and Gatorade and had dinner. And then I finally felt a little bit better. But boy, I tell you, I was not in good shape, and I was just like, I hope I don't have to go to the hospital because I was feeling really bad. But I think it's just because I was out in the sun. It was hot here today. First day of sun in 2 weeks, and we got it all at once. And I was ripping out boards and replacing them, and I ripped out the first 2 boards. I was soaked, so I think I was just dehydrated. But yeah, send me that. I want to know. OTB's been since college, before wife, marriage, and house, etc. Well, that's a long time to be playing a game. Yep. It's like an old friend you can depend upon. We all have one of those games. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And yeah, send me that. I'd like to see how that works out. I always like to see people when they play the games that I play, especially the seasons that I played, how they finished compared to how I finished. So it's all kind of fun. But anyway, all right. Let me know your storylines. I told you mine. What's going on right now? So I want to know about your storylines. Leave me a comment here, or comment on Facebook or the show, whatever it is, or the text line, whatever you want to do. But I got a pretty darn good storyline going on right now, and I wanted to share. So I'm Dave from Studio B. We'll talk to everybody later. Bye, guys.